think I'm going to get canceled if I say it. Who thought that that was a good idea?
When was the last time Kanye saw the kids?
Kim Kardashian must have sensed that people were starting to tune out of the Kardashian chaos, because out of nowhere, she jumped on the Call Her Daddy podcast and started spilling tea she's been dodging for years. She didn't just show up to chat, she came ready to stir things up. From the whispers about Travis Barker to her flirty photos with Justin Bieber and even Kanye West supposedly ghosting his own kids, Kim finally cracked open the vault, and what she said left people stunned. Let's start with the most eyebrow-raising part, Justin Bieber.
What is something you probably should have gotten canceled for but didn't?
I know what it is, and I think I'm going to get canceled if I say it.
You're like, I'm not bringing that shit back up.
Like, I don't know who approved this, and I don't know who thought that this was normal, this narrative.
When the host asked Kim about a time she probably should have been canceled, Kim laughed it off. But then she brought up that photo shoot. You know, the one where she was 30, posing all close and cozy with 16-year-old Justin like they were a couple straight out of a magazine fantasy.
But I did a photo shoot with Justin Bieber, and he was 16 years old, and I don't know how old I was, and it was like a play. His girlfriend was there, his parents, it was like nothing creepy at all. But I look back, and I'm like, that's the one thing that I feel like, you know, he's like a good, dear friend of ours and the whole family. But like, who thought that that was a good idea? You know, I must have been 30 years old, you know?
I could see that. I could see that getting murky.
But it was a story of, what's that story with the teacher and the student? The Graduate.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I just feel like that was nothing ever weird, was obviously happening. And like, I just think that was like an odd concept, and why none of us thought that that was odd at the time. But now we look back and I'm like, that would have not been the most appropriate thing.
Right.
Wait, but I've never really done anything to be canceled. Like, I stand by
The pictures were meant to be artsy, but looking back, the internet can't stop saying how uncomfortable they seem now. People are like, why was a grown woman acting flirty with a teenage pop star? And honestly, that's a fair question.
thing that I've never said anything crazy. I've never done anything crazy. Maybe just like by association, being around people and people thinking.
You've been on the fringe a couple times, but it's never really got
Like,
you.
what do you think that I would have done?
Well, I can't say that. Get the
Tell
ball.
me.
No, I can't say it. I don't need a whole nation coming for me. Okay, go.
Text Courtney. I just record.
What really made it weirder is what Justin himself said afterward. He bragged, I have Kim on BlackBerry Messenger, and we talk all the time. Like, what? A 16-year-old texting one of the most famous women in the world who's almost twice his age? That's the kind of thing that would have exploded today. But when Kim tried to explain it on the podcast, she brushed it off like it was no big deal. She laughed and said the whole thing was blown out of proportion, that people made it something it never was. Still, the internet hasn't forgotten. That photo shoot resurfaces every couple of years, each time sparking a new round of side eyes and "what were they thinking?" comments. And before anyone could process that, Kim switched topics so fast it left everyone confused. Something about Taylor Swift in a missed moment. Even the host sounded lost. Like, wait, what just happened, Kimberly? One thing's for sure, Kim knew exactly what she was doing when she dropped this interview. She wanted attention, and oh, she got it. You could instantly tell that Alex Cooper, the host of Call Her Daddy, came ready to stir up some Taylor Swift drama. The second Kim mentioned being canceled, Alex's face lit up like she thought they were diving into the Taylor feud. You could almost hear her gears turning. Oh, we're finally going there. But nope. Kim zigged when everyone expected her to zag. Even people online caught it right away. One person wrote, Alex was totally gearing up for the Swiftie war, while another joked, my brain went straight to that nobody wants to work these days moment. When how did we end up here? And honestly, same. That line will forever haunt Kim's PR record, and yet somehow, this new interview might have topped it. But back to that Justin Bieber situation. A lot of people think Kim wasn't just doing that photo shoot for art. They believe she saw Justin's rising fame and wanted a little piece of the buzz for herself. One comment said it best. Kim, you really thought posing with a teen heartthrob was a good move? Looking back, it screams clout chase. And just when everyone thought the conversation couldn't get any more awkward, Kim casually drops the name Travis Barker.
In the past, have you ever hooked up with Travis Barker?
No, I never have. Absolutely. That I do not mind you asking.
Okay.
I never have. And that really sucks that that has gone on. But he dated Paris and we were all friends and we'd all like hang out. And when I was with Paris, we'd be on the road and go to like their tour in Amsterdam. And like, so I have been friends with him, but never like in that way and never hooked up with him.
Did you have any heads up that you were going to be in his memoir, like reference as the crush?
No.
Okay.
No. But
Yep, Courtney's husband. Now this is where things get messy. Kim started talking about how she was being falsely linked to him back in the day, but let's not forget, Travis himself already spilled the tea years ago in his own autobiography. In his book, Travis didn't hold back. He flat out wrote about how he used to hang out with Kim. Dinner dates, lunch meetups, little business meetings that didn't exactly sound like just business. He even admitted, you might think I'd be doing the worst things with this girl because of her tapes. But it was the exact opposite. With Kim, I wanted to be nothing but a gentleman. Now hold up, that line had people talking. Because if you're writing that in a book for the world to read, clearly there was some kind of energy between them.
say that we never hooked up. I mean, I don't think he would allude to that information, you know? But also, Courtney was around during that time. So, like, they were neighbors for a decade. So, like, when everyone was all hanging, like, he was always around with his kids. They'd always come to Courtney's house for all the birthdays. So it was like everything was super, like, open and cool, and like one's been friends. He was just as good of friends with them as he was with all of us. So it was nothing weird.
Travis went on to say it felt different with Kim, that he actually respected her and didn't treat her like other women he'd been with. And get this, they even worked together on ad campaigns for his brand, Famous. So yeah, the connection wasn't just rumor mill nonsense. There was something real there. Still, it's wild that Kim is now brushing it off like it was nothing. Like, girl, he literally wrote about you in a published book. So Travis Barker's own words make it crystal clear. There was definitely something going on between him and Kim Kardashian back in the day. He wrote, "She came over to my house, we went swimming, we watched the 4th of July fireworks together. That doesn't sound like just two friends hanging out. That sounds like a romantic setup." And when he added that Kim would call him saying, "I want to see you again," it painted a whole different picture. Now imagine how awkward that must be for Courtney. Like, your husband once had a little thing, or at least a major crush, on your sister. That's wild. Every time the Kardashians get together for a family event, people can't help but wonder, does Court ever think about that? Like, is she watching Travis hug Kim at Christmas and remembering he once gushed about her curves in a book? It's the kind of drama you couldn't make up if you tried, and here's where it gets even juicier, Kim's response. When Alex brought up the book, Kim instantly went into defense mode, doing what she does best. Deny, deny, deny. She said something like, "That's not true," and brushed it off as a made-up story. But hold on, if that book was a lie, wouldn't that be a huge legal issue? Travis Barker isn't some random blogger. He had an official publisher, editors, lawyers. They all signed off on that story. You can't just print something like that about Kim Kardashian without serious proof. That's defamation territory. So, either Travis stretched the truth, or Kim is downplaying something that once had a little more spark than she wants to admit. And let's not forget, she's very careful with her words. Watch any of her interviews and you'll see it. The double takes, the pauses, the oh no no moments when she's trying to figure out how to say something without saying too much. She's PR trained to the core, always spinning the narrative to sound clean while dodging the real mess underneath. Even fans picked up on it. One person commented, "Kim's voice gave it away. She hesitated like she was editing herself mid-sentence." Another added, "She's choosing her words like a lawyer wrote them." And honestly, that's the vibe. Maybe Kim didn't technically sleep with Travis, but could there have been flirting, chemistry, or something that crossed a few lines? Probably. Travis literally wrote that they were sweet around each other like kids. That doesn't sound innocent. That sounds like butterflies. So, whether she wants to admit it or not, Kim knew he liked her. And judging by that giggle in the interview, she didn't exactly hate the attention. Honestly, it feels like Kim is still covering up for someone, probably her sister. Because if you think about it, the whole situation with Travis Barker goes way deeper than people realize. Travis wasn't just hanging around Kim back in the day. He was also connected to Paris Hilton. Yup, the same Paris who used to be Kim's bestie before they suddenly stopped talking for years. Now, imagine this. If Travis was seeing Paris first, and then Kim got close to him after, that would explain why their friendship crashed and burned so fast. It's messy, but it fits the timeline perfectly. And you just know Kourtney must feel uncomfortable even hearing that man's name in this context. Like, that's her husband now, and he literally wrote a book confessing how he once adored her sister. That's not exactly easy dinner table conversation. Fans have even been wondering online if Kourtney and Travis ever had a serious one-on-one talk about it. Like, did they clear the air before getting married? Because pretending it never happened just sounds like emotional chaos waiting to happen. The internet's also been side-eyeing how Kim acted during the interview. One person said, "I can't explain it, but she seems so cold, like there's no real emotion behind her words." Another added, "It's almost scary how detached she's become, like she's built out of concrete." And that's the truth. She sat there with this calm, unreadable face, like she's learned to turn off her feelings whenever something uncomfortable comes up. But then, out of nowhere, Kim switched the topic to Kanye West.
But I mean, I raise the kids, full time. I also protect them when, it's time for that, and it goes in waves and phases, and it's a lot of work. But like I said earlier, like I have the best memories and the best relationship, with my dad. And even like, I love that, I see Tristan puts, their kids to bed every night and takes them to school every day when he's not, in season. So I just welcome healthy relationships, but it's not easy.
When was the last time Kanye saw the kids?
And that's when things got heavy. She confirmed that Kanye hasn't been around the kids lately, saying he's just off living his life in Europe with Bianca. Fans have spotted him in Spain, looking carefree while Kim handles everything back home. It's like he's completely forgotten he has 4 children, and that hits hard. People online were heartbroken. One comment read, "It's so sad to see Kanye only acknowledge his kids when it benefits him." Another said, "Kim says so much by saying so little." She didn't drag him, but you could tell the disappointment in her silence, the pauses, the long breaths before she spoke. It's all there.
Whenever he'll call for them and ask, it's probably been a couple months since we've heard from him. But
how do you handle, because it's all on you in those moments, the disappointment, if any, from the kids? Like, how do you explain those moments to them?
They always knew that he had a big life traveling before and was always on tour and all of that. So it's and that he lives in different countries all the time and loves to live all over the place. So, we manage it really well. Like they love like their life and their routine and their schedule. And I think just their job as their mom is just to make sure that they stick to their routine and they're healthy and happy. And, look, it's not easy no matter what.
As much as people call Kim out, she deserves credit for one thing. She shows up for her kids, always. Love her or hate her, she's steady in that way. Even her biggest critics had to admit it. Say what you want about the Kardashians, but they're great mothers. So yeah, Kim might have a heart of steel when it comes to interviews, but when it comes to her kids, that's the one place she still seems real. Okay, so here's the thing. Nobody's denying that the Kardashian sisters are hands-on moms. But when it comes to setting boundaries, that's where the cracks start to show. People online have been calling out Kourtney specifically, saying she's too chill with how things go down in her house. Like, have you seen Alabama Barker's parties? That girl's mansion turns into a full-on club, and everyone's like, where are the parents? It's giving cool mom energy, but maybe a little too much of it. And honestly, this whole call her daddy interview might stir up more family drama behind the scenes than Kim expected. Once this clip circulates, which it already is, you just know group chats are blowing up, phone calls are being made, and someone's definitely crying in Calabasas right now. Still, I gotta give Kim some credit. She tried so hard not to drag Kanye. You could see it in how she spoke. Calm, measured, maybe even too composed. One fan wrote, "Kim's really trying not to bash Kanye when she easily could. That's real restraint." Another added, "She's keeping it classy." Respect. And that's true. She could have aired everything out, the distance, the chaos, the weird public stunts, but she didn't. She kept it subtle. Now, what really shocked people was how Kim finally admitted that her photo shoot with Justin Bieber was inappropriate. Most celebrities pretend like nothing ever happened, but Kim actually owned up to how weird it looks now. She didn't make excuses, she just said it straight. And that, weirdly enough, felt kind of refreshing. Like, who actually admits that kind of thing years later, especially when it could have stayed buried? But when it came to the Travis Barker situation, Kim's tone changed quick. Some people think that if Kourtney wasn't involved, Kim might have spilled more about what really went down back then. But with her sister now married to Travis, she's walking on glass. You can tell she's holding back to avoid turning this into another family scandal, especially with Paris Hilton's name floating around too. Because if we're being real, Paris and Travis had their own thing back in the day, and rumors say even Paris's closet assistant was seeing Travis on the low. That's a whole triangle, maybe even a square, of messy Hollywood connections. So yeah, Kim probably knows a lot more than she's letting on, but saying too much could reopen some very expensive wounds. Anyway, what did you all think about Kim's interview? Do you think she was being honest or just protecting her image? Drop your thoughts below because this might be one of the most layered Kardashian moments we've had in a while. What's even more wild is how the Call Her Daddy episode changed how people see Kim, not as a victim of the spotlight, but as someone who knows exactly how to use it. Every question Alex threw her way, Kim turned into a headline moment. It wasn't messy or emotional, it was strategic. She gave just enough truth to keep everyone talking, but never so much that it could hurt her brand. That's classic Kim, always balancing controversy and control. But this time, fans noticed something new. The calm, polished version of Kim felt different, colder, maybe even disconnected. People started asking if this version of her is the real Kim, or just a PR shell she's built after years of chaos. One person commented, "She's not the same girl from the early 2000s. The sparkle's gone. She's mastered survival mode." And honestly, they might be right. Between the Kanye split, the endless drama with Kourtney, and trying to rebuild her image after decades of scrutiny, Kim has turned herself into this perfectly untouchable figure, part human, part brand. And the irony, the more distant she seems, the more people want to dig into her life. Like when she mentioned Kanye's absence, fans went digging for clues. Some claimed his team has been keeping him out of the spotlight on purpose, while others say Kim's trying to protect her kids from the noise. Either way, the narrative keeps spinning, and Kim's sitting in the middle, unbothered, watching the internet argue over her every sentence. What's even more telling is how the whole family's dynamic keeps shifting because of interviews like this. Kourtney's probably fuming that Travis's old crush is making headlines again. Khloe's likely somewhere sighing, praying no one brings up another Tristan moment. And Kris Jenner? She's probably already drafting a new Hulu storyline out of this whole mess. At the end of the day, Kim didn't just go on that podcast to open up. She went to remind everyone who the main character still is. And just like that, the internet's attention is right back where she wants it. on her. Now that everything's out in the open, it's clear Kim Kardashian didn't just sit down for an interview. She orchestrated a full-blown media moment. Every answer, every pause, every little smirk felt calculated. She knows people will dissect her tone, body language, and even what she doesn't say. That's her power. Whether you love her or can't stand her, she knows exactly how to keep your eyes on her, and that's what makes Kim. But what's crazy is how this one interview managed to shake up 3 different storylines at once: Justin Bieber, Travis Barker, and Kanye West. It's like she dropped a triple bomb without even raising her voice. One second, she's defending herself. The next, she's exposing her past. And by the end, she's subtly reminding everyone that she's still the woman who can dominate headlines with just a whisper. And now, fans can't stop speculating about what's next. Will Kourtney finally address the Travis thing? Will Paris Hilton speak up about her side of the story? Or will Kanye pop back into the spotlight just to reclaim the narrative? One thing about this family, silence never lasts too long. They always find a way to turn real-life tension into entertainment gold. People online are already saying this is the most real they've seen Kim in years, but others think it's her most rehearsed performance yet. Either way, she got what she wanted. Everyone's talking again. From Reddit threads to TikTok comment sections, it's nothing but Kardashian theories and wild predictions. And you just know Kim's somewhere smiling, watching the world debate her every move. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Kim was finally being honest, or did she just spin the narrative one more time to her advantage? Drop your thoughts down below and let's talk about it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next drop. Because trust me, the next celebrity story I've got coming is even messier. Click the video popping up right here on your screen for more unfiltered Hollywood drama. And I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys!